Good evening, everyone. Welcome to 49ers After Dark. We're your hosts, Cohn and Jessie Naylor, and we have breaking news. According to Cam Inman and other beat writers who were at practice, I was at practice, but I've been focused on the quarterbacks. Raheem Mostert left practice with a back injury. No word yet on the severity of it, but it's a back, and he's had injuries in the past. What's your instant reaction, your first take?
Oh my gosh. What are they going to do without him? I mean, you're talking about Wilson's already out for probably the first 6 to 8 weeks. And now Mostert, those were your number one and number two running backs.
Last year they were. Yep.
Yep. Sermon looks okay, but he doesn't look special. The good news is Mitchell came back today. Hasty looks good. Gallman looks good. I think that they can make this running game tick, but Mostert was that home run hitter, and if he's out for any extended period of time, that's not good for this offense whatsoever.
Yeah, Mostert's a hell of a player. First touch on, I want to say, Friday in Costa Mesa, touchdown, 70 yards. It was glorious. Love that guy. But this happens to him. He gets hurt a lot. And I don't even think he's gotten to 300 carries in his career. And he still gets hurt a lot. Running back is, a very violent position, but those guys have to be able to take it. And I'm not sure he can, I mean, he wasn't even really a running back in college. He wasn't really a running back. Like, he could do it, but he's always had this wide receiver type, special teams type body. Anyway, this is why the Niners drafted two running backs and signed Wayne Gallman. They're prepared. I mean, it's not good news because he's still their best running back, but Elijah Mitchell came back to practice today and played well. Gallman's been playing well. Hasty's been playing well. Sermon's, well, I mean, I liked what he did in college. I haven't seen much from him yet. That's four guys. But so they're okay. They have depth there, but I guess they were prescient. They saw this coming. How could you not?
Yeah, well, that's true, and but the thing is that Mostert is the only proven home run hitter on this team, and we know that
Yep.
Mitchell might be able to be that guy, but you look at Mostert, and he's the one guy that can take a slant from Garoppolo first game of the season, 70 yards, no problem. Next game, he can house a 80-yard touchdown against cover two versus the Jets. Like, they don't have anybody else on that team that can do that out of the backfield, so that's a big loss if he's not able to play.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know that he's out for an extended
For
period
sure,
of time.
for sure.
And, like,
Yes,
I'm still
yes,
thinking that probably, well, I don't know, but probably Jeff Wilson Jr.'s injury is worse than Mostert's. And
yeah,
I'm guessing he's going to play week one. But this is more like a, oh, no, not again type of thing. Like, oh, is this a pattern? Are you going to be dealing with stuff? Are you never going to be really 100% healthy? Because you know what they say, the healthiest you are is at the beginning of camp. And if he can't even get through all 20 days without getting something, makes you wonder. Anyway, we don't know enough. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Maybe
no,
he'll be back tomorrow, but we'll see. Not good
yeah.
news. Very important player having a hell of a camp.
Yeah, listen, I mean, when when Debo hurt himself the other day with his glute, we all thought the worst. Like, oh gosh, here we go,
Yeah.
hamstring again. He was grabbing his hamstring. This is what he does. And then he played 2 days later. So let's hope that Raheem makes a speedy recovery. It's just a tweak. He can sit out a few days and be okay. But it's definitely something to monitor, and it sucks hearing it for sure.
Okay, so that's some news. But the big news today is that it seems like the Niners' plan for week one is whoever starts may not really matter. It seems
Yep.
like they may have close to an even split of snaps at quarterback. Like, the quarterback competition is gonna be week one. I mean, they didn't say it. We asked, and they were basically saying, like, we know who's gonna start, but we don't want to say it. And they had this grin on their face, like Kyle and Jimmy, like they know a secret. Maybe the secret is that it doesn't really matter. Like, whoever starts, it's gonna be a timeshare. It's like a committee. And the reason I say that is, well, Shanahan's already said they're both gonna play. And today in practice, there were two move the ball periods, like drives, for the starters. And they were both 6 plays. The first one, Garoppolo got the first three, Lance got the first three. The second one, Garoppolo got the first three, Lance got four, Garoppolo got five, Lance got six. I don't know if that's what it's going to be like week one, but it might be. What do you think of Shanahan doing it this way?
It First of all, they might just completely troll us and they'll both start play one, they'll both be on the field,
right?
Or they'll
Jimmy
play
a wide
Lance.
receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or they'll play Lance for the first play, and then Jimmy comes in. Who knows? Like Kyle, I wouldn't put it past Kyle, but
They both start. They both start.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man. If a two quarterback system, like a legit two quarterback system, is what he's going for, I don't see it working. I mean, there's a reason that this stopped being done after the 90s in college football. And it's just not going to work on this level. I mean, quarterbacks are rhythm players. You can't pull them in and take them out at your leisure because you like this down and distance, so you're going to put in Lance or vice versa, or we're playing this team, so this guy's going to get more burn. Like that, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like a Taysom Hill role either. I just, whoever your starter is, roll with them. If it's Jimmy, cool. Like I was wrong, and I've been probably louder than anybody saying that Lance was going to start week one. Like I'm willing to take that L, but as long as that L is you're going to ride with Jimmy and that's what your plan is, not this half in, half out. I think that's the worst thing that they can absolutely do. And if you're going to do that, that tells me you never really made a decision and you're going to ride it until you think Lance can be the guy. Listen, just roll with Lance then. Like this half in, half out doesn't work for me. I think it's a disaster waiting to happen if that's the way that he plays it.
Okay, let me disagree with you here because I
Okay.
feel like I see where Shanahan's coming from on this one, and I think I may agree with him. I don't think this is a long-term plan. The way I see it, they want Lance to start. But I
Yes.
don't think that you could say that Lance has definitely won over the entire locker room or the entire fan base. He's had good moments. He's also had some inconsistent moments, and I think it's very like it's an even split right now in the fan base. 50-50 is
Yeah.
very polarizing. And so I think what Kyle Shanahan is doing is he's saying, at least for week one, of course I gotta play Trey Lance. Steve Young, he's gotta be on the field. I gotta play him. But if I start him and bench Jimmy Garoppolo before week one and Lance hasn't totally lit it up, you run the risk of pissing off George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, a lot of players, maybe half the team. Unless, basically that. I think it's let's be clear, like the Bears not starting Justin Fields is dumb. That's super dumb.
Yeah, it is.
Because the alternative is some other guy, Andy Dalton, who's new and not that good. This is different. Jimmy's been here. He has a lot of the locker room on his side. And I know Kyle wants to move on, but does Kittle? Does Juszczyk? Like it's hard. It's hard. And like Lance hasn't necessarily taken it yet, although Jimmy's trying to give it to him. So I could see Kyle being like, all right, I don't want to make a bold decision. Let's just roll with two quarterbacks week one. And, maybe Lance will take it in that game and just get hot and it'll be that. But basically, until Lance gets hot and takes it, we're going to play both. And it's on Lance to make this a one quarterback team. And I think that's kind of, it might be the right call, man. It might be the right, given the sensitive situation that the locker room presents.
Yeah, I think it could play well in the locker room. I don't see that being an issue. I just think
Yeah.
just make a decision and roll with it, man. You know what I mean? Like let Jimmy. You're going to win these first two. I really think the first 3 weeks are wins. As long as they stay relatively healthy. I think the first 3 weeks are wins. I know that you disagree with me on the Green Bay game, but either way, these first 2 weeks for sure are wins, right? Or should be. So make Jimmy go out there, and if Jimmy doesn't perform or falls asleep at the wheel, then you have an easy way to insert Lance. I'm cool with that. Or just play Lance. I don't know. I think this whole hedging the bet thing is I think short term it might play well with the team. Long term it could turn into an issue, right? Like
Yeah.
how long does it take before Garoppolo's like going to Kittle? I'm like, geez, man, like
Yeah.
this guy's never believed in me. And now
That's
even
true.
the time that he's given me the team, like it's not really my team and just play the rookie. You know what I mean? Like it
Right.
I feel like long term it could turn into a bigger issue than just playing Jimmy.
No,
or
I
just playing
totally
Trey.
agree with you. And all I want to say is the only way I can argue on behalf of Kyle here is if this is a short-term solution.
Yeah,
This
for
can't really go more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks tops.
Yeah.
By then, one of these two guys needs to have stepped up. And if it's Jimmy, great. If it's Trey, even better. But no, this is definitely the shortest of the short-term things. I mean, let New Orleans do it all season because they don't really have anyone that they're invested in. The Niners are way too invested in both of these guys to do this too long. Like, one needs to step up. But because honestly, the way I've looked at it in at least preseason so far is that neither one has really taken it.
Yeah.
So maybe they could next week. But if not, then hey, let's play both of you. We probably could win doing it against Detroit. We probably can win doing it against Philly. But hopefully by the end of those two games, one of you two will freaking figure it out and just take the thing and be the starter week 3 against Green Bay. I think that's the only way it makes sense. If Kyle's like, we're going to do this all year, I'm like, I'm out. See ya. That's on you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can't sell that all year round, and it's not going to work. I guess I can get behind it.
One more thing. Yeah. They haven't had a quarterback competition. They're just starting to share reps.
Right.
So that's another way to say, make it fair.
Yeah, that's fair. And maybe they're thinking exactly what I just said. Like, these first 2 weeks, like, these are wins. Like, it doesn't matter.
We can win however.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. We're going to win these games. It doesn't matter who plays. So let's just go out there and mess around and see if one of these guys can cement themselves. Yeah, I'm with that, I guess. But
that's the only way.
I don't know, man.
That's the only way.
Just name a guy. Who cares?
Yeah. All right, hold on. We got to answer some questions. Sean says, did we expect anything else from Mostert? No. It's true. Injury prone is injury prone. These are professional athletes. Sorry, Raheem, it's nothing personal. You want them to be a football players. It's a violent sport. Steven says, why else was Drew Brees talking to only Trey and Jimmy? I've been calling it since day one, just like my guy. Hey, Steve. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, first of all, like, Breeze is there because he's with the Chargers and he's helping Herbert acclimate to that Saints offense because that's where their coach came from. So that's why he was there. But yeah, who knows? Maybe that conversation was had like, hey, what's it like? How did this work between you and Taysom? How can we make it work? Who knows? Drew Brees is small though, right?
Hella small.
My gosh.
Hella small. Yeah. I didn't know he was there. He looked like just some guy who was there. Oh, wow, Drew Brees. Will says, if we have another losing season due to injuries, I'm a Rams fan next year until they make a significant change to keep athletes healthy. I'm fed up. I respect it.
Don't do that. Don't be a Seahawks fan at the very least. Just don't do that.
How about the Cardinals? They have no fans. They could use one.
There you go. Yeah, they could use some help.
Marcus says when Kyle said give him a reason to say it, you should have followed up with a question about splitting the locker room. That's fair. All right, in the future, I guess personally I'm hoping that this goes on forever because the hits are good right now. But you're right, Marcus. I missed that opportunity. T.O. says, can they keep Olive running back? I like the way they phrased the question. They might. I don't know. What do you think?
Find a way. If these guys are going to be, if a couple of them are going to be on injured reserve, then yeah, for sure you can. There's no issue there. Otherwise, you're going to have to try to sneak one of these guys onto the practice squad, and good luck with that because they all look pretty good.
You think they'll keep 5 tailbacks this year? They could.
I doubt it.
It's a lot.
I doubt it. But again, if Mostert, let's say Mostert is actually hurt for a few weeks, well then, you can actually fit it into the roster at least till he's back and make decisions then. So
true. Shivner says, take the bumps in the road, commit to one guy and ride it out. This in-between nonsense is unnecessary in my opinion.
Agree.
I'm with you, Shiv. I'm trying to look at the other way. Like, if they feel that Jimmy is more ready to start week 1, okay, then Trey needs to play half that game. I don't care. And I think that's kind of what they're saying. Is like, well, we just, and I can't disagree with them. Like, Trey isn't exactly, I don't know. He's the least impressive of the rookie quarterbacks so far. And it's not that he's not great. He's got a great skill set. It's just he's raw.
He's the least consistent.
Yeah, he's the least experienced.
He's not the least impressive. I think he's the least
that's
consistent.
The wrong word. Consistent. But still, that's important. And rather than force it, they can just play. Look, if he gets hot, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can play with both. Jimmy's going to do what he does. There's no surprise there. But Trey comes in and you have no idea what you're going to get. He could look like a rookie or he could get hot. If he gets hot, he stays in the game. It's his job. Over. And end of story. But you don't know. And that's why if you start him week 1, he could tank. And then the whole team looks at you like, well, good call, dude. Nice. Good job. But if you just do it this way, it's like you just let it's not your call. It's Trey doing it. Trey takes it. I don't have to, and I get that. Like, I don't want to have to tell the team it's Trey's job. I want Trey to tell the team it's Trey's job, is what I'm saying. And he hasn't quite done it yet. He can. That's all I'm saying. I think that makes sense. You're giving me every opportunity to take it.
Yeah, listen, here's what I will say. If that's what they end up doing, then there's not a 49er fan alive that can say that there wasn't an open competition.
There you go.
Right? Because
the open competition is week one.
It was definitely an open competition, because if Trey Lance is named the starter, they're not doing this garbage. Only if Garoppolo is the quote-unquote starter would they even consider doing this, because they want Trey to get burned.
Right. Like, when Trey becomes a starter, they're not going to bring in Jimmy here and there. It's not going to happen.
No, that'll never happen. No. Never.
Adrian says Niners should look into getting Leon Sandcastle or Jerry Rice Cake. Just saying. Yeah. I love those Leon Sandcastle commercials. Those are hella funny. Deion Sanders at his finest. All right. I think we're up to the next one. All right. Does Trey Lance still have time to win the job, in your opinion? I think he does. Let me play this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say Jimmy Garoppolo gets the first 2 series against the Raiders and plays like Jimmy Garoppolo. And then Trey Lance comes in and continues that streak that he had at the end of the last game and looks not just explosive, but competent and lights out. I think it's over. I think that's enough.
Okay, let me go conspiracy theorist on you for a second. So, what if they're laying out this scenario that they're both going to play so that it doesn't look weird to us when in game 3, when they're going through their dress rehearsal, that they're both getting burned because they really are trying to figure out who the quarterback's going to be, right?
Absolutely,
everybody's going to say, well, this is normal. This is what they said was going to happen. So taking them in and out of the game is not going to be something that anybody will raise an eyebrow at, because this is what we're expecting. Right. When reality is they're not going to do that in the regular season, but they really legitimately need 1 week to figure out who is going to be the starter of this team. So yes, I would say absolutely it's still – the door is cracked, but to your point, Trey Lance really has to come in and take it, because Garoppolo has not done that. But it's almost like a championship fight, right?
Yeah.
You're a boxing fan, so you know this. In order to beat the champion, you got to beat the champion.
That's true.
You cannot go to a judge's close split decision. You're never going to win that.
Yep.
And Garoppolo, whether he's earned it or not, if Garoppolo was brought in from another franchise and they were competing, Lance would be given the job.
Agree.
But
that's why I referenced the situation in Chicago earlier. Like, they're dumb for what they're doing. Yes. This is more complicated. Sorry to cut you.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. So if it was a scenario like that, Trey Lance would be starting. But because Jimmy has kind of won over this team and they went to a Super Bowl with him, you have to rip it from his hands. And
Trey has been inconsistent too. So if Trey could just have that one lights out game, that one lights out week, it would be there. But then today in practice, he's 12 for 16. Great. But one of the 4 misses is high over the middle intercepted. And you're like, okay, well, now you have an issue like Jimmy has an issue. And it's like, well, now I still see where Shanahan's coming from. Like, you haven't quite proven it yet. But it's just a Wednesday practice. That's what practice is for, as Jimmy Garoppolo likes to say. It's all this Raider game is huge. Huge, I think.
I agree with you. And I would say that the chances, at least to me, it sounds like the chances are slim, but I think that there's still a slight opportunity that it could happen. And again, going the conspiracy theory route, if it looks funny, if they don't say anything about them both playing and both of these guys end up getting half the series with that first team in that first half, people are going to raise an eyebrow at that. But now you've kind of hedged your bet and set that in motion, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're just practicing what we plan on doing in the regular season. Nobody's going to think twice about it, and they're really evaluating who their starting quarterback should be right here in front of our eyes this final preseason week.
Yeah, yep. And I think what Kyle Shanahan is dealing with here is that a lot of maybe players on the team feel that Jimmy Garoppolo shouldn't get benched for anything he did in training camp or preseason. It's like, it's a vet. This guy has won a lot of games. He's won playoff games, and you're going to bench him for a kid who has a great skill set but hasn't been lights out in camp. Maybe some people feel like, man, I got a problem with I just feel like maybe you can't get 100% of people behind that. And we've seen it on Twitter. You get maybe 50% of Niners Twitter behind that, Niner fans. But you can't get 100%. And as a head coach, you're trying to find some type of something that you can rally around. So If neither if neither guy gives you that, then what do you do? So I guess Lance, even if he lights it up against the Raiders, they still may have to do this thing just for Kittle, for Juszczyk. Hey, look, see it in your own. This is a real game.
Yep.
This is your guy floundering. This is the new guy giving you life. Accept it. See it for yourself. Maybe that could be what's going on here. So maybe Lance can't really win it before week 1, but he could win it during week 1. I mean, that's what Deshaun Watson did, right? I mean, pretty soon all your hopes and dreams go out the window, and you're in survival mode. And you see one guy's going to take you to the victory, one guy won't, and it's like, well, we're with him now. Sorry, Jimmy. We'll hit you up in the offseason. We love you, dude. I think that could happen, but there's a lot of people in denial right now, including people on the Niners.
Yeah, there definitely is. And, I think that I don't get the fascination with Jimmy. Like, what is it? I've never seen an overpaid, mediocre player get so much love from a fan base in my entire life. Like, you've literally got the future sitting right here, waiting to take this team for the next 15 years.
Yeah, that's the cure. That's the key, though. You said the future. Jimmy's old. He's the old style quarterback, the pocket passer. He's old style, and I feel like a lot of people feel like, no, that's how it is. That's how you have to win, and the rest of the league is saying, no, that skill set doesn't really get it done anymore. You need this skill set, and I think some people are, resistant to change. But at the same time, when you talk about offensive football, it's always about staying one step ahead of the evolution, and that's why Kyle Shanahan has Trey Lance. It's why Sean Payton has Taysom Hill. It's why Bill Belichick has Cam Newton. They all see where the league is going.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And unless you are overly precise, you're an extremely quick decision maker, you can be mobile in the pocket. Like, all the things
unless
that
you're
Jimmy
Tom Brady
aren't,
or Peyton Manning, you
right.
could definitely win
Right.
multiple. But otherwise,
and even Mac Jones is kind of show. I mean, it's very
see how
early,
many
right?
Super Bowl he wins.
But he's showing he can kind of do these things.
He was good. But let's see how many Super Bowls he wins. But yeah, it's rare. And he's pretty much looking like the best pocket quarterback to come out of college since Matt Ryan. I mean, like, pocket-only quarterback.
Yes.
Because even Andrew Luck could get out. All right, let's answer some questions. Don't you get the feeling it's going to end up being the first year a rookie wins a quarterback? Hold on.
Rookie QB wins a Super Bowl, I think is what he's saying.
Oh. It's funny. Yeah, if the Niners win, they'll be the first team with the quarterback making all that money and the first team with the rookie winning it. They could just break all kind of records this year.
For sure.
Yeah. Most likely, though, they
don't.
Hey, Grant, first time super chat. Thank you, Harley. How would you grade Jimmy and Trey's QB play? Like, who will win more games starting? Okay, so Jimmy's like a Jimmy's like a C. I'm harsh.
He's a net zero. Like, I look at quarterbacks as do they win you games, do they lose you games, or are they a net zero? Like, to me, they don't win any more games because of Jimmy, but they're not going to lose any more games because of Jimmy. He's kind of a net zero throughout the season, right?
So
that's his average.
He's a C. And I was saying C minus because of these interceptions and the injuries, but he's a C. And then Trey Lance right now is a big freaking unknown, dude.
Yeah.
He's great. He's got a great skill set, but a lot of times when I watch him play, I'm like, you don't really have any instincts here. Like, you don't really know what you can get away with because this is all so new to you. But at the same time, it seems like he's learning quickly.
I would say right now he would be a C also, which is fine. And I guess that's my whole point is if he's a C right now, but he can grow into a B by the end of the season and an A in the future, like, just roll with that. Like, what are we waiting for?
And also,
what are we really
his ability to
about?
run the zone read, I think, will be A+. Like, right away. He's bigger and faster than Justin Fields. He's bigger than Kyler Murray. You can run him with no conscience. Like they run Lamar Jackson. Like, just no conscience. 10 times, 15, whatever's necessary. And they will. Just not yet. That's all I'm saying.
And they haven't done it often, Grant,
No.
but every time they've moved the pocket, he's been successful. Every single time.
Dude, he's so much more accurate and natural throwing on the run than when he's in the pocket. That's just how a lot of quarterbacks are. That's how Carson Wentz is.
Yep.
He's Carson Wentz with the ability to run the zone read, which is, I mean, Carson Wentz almost won an MVP without running the zone read. That's a very potent, and we'll see how he develops from there. But he's also 3 years younger than Wentz was when he got in the league. Def Moose says, Grant, if they both are on the field for play one, do you and your pop squash it, or are you both buying a $50 bottle Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. If they're both in the field for this first play, we'll exchange. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle trolls everyone and like has some type of gadget wildcat play where they're both on the field and both technically get the start. I mean, why not?
I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
It would be the best way to end this.
It would be pretty funny. Zach says, with the quarterback undecided and the depth on the D line, should the Niners put Armstead in the market to help O line? Yeah, if they could trade Armstead in that contract, that'd be great. They could definitely use a starter at right guard. But we're gonna talk. I have a solution for right guard, so I'm gonna come back to that. But yeah, man, if anyone wants to take that Armstead contract, I'd be amenable. James says, "Sorry, winning the Super Bowl is missing there." Yeah, no, we got you. We got you. These two are incomplete. GM and coach. What?
Maybe he meant we're incompetent. I don't
know, pal. You're gonna have to help us out there, man. We tried.
Yeah.
With Tart back, who was the odd man out at safety? He might be the odd man out at safety. I think the reason he's back is they're like, look, dude, you may not make this team. If you're not healthy, we gotta cut you. We're not gonna. And so he's back, but he wasn't playing with the starters. I was thinking as soon as he came back, they just put him in with the starters. No, it's still Tavon Wilson, and he got some reps with the second string and some reps with the third string. So, and then Clinton Diggs had a pick today. So, I don't know. I think Tart's gonna have to show something. And we'll see if he plays tomorrow. Like, can he practice 2 days in a row? Can he
right, that's going to be a big one.
Same thing with Jalen Hurd. Would you bring back No. Sorry. Not because of what happened either. Because of his play. Marcus says Trey just needs to lay a nice TD pass up to Kittle on Sunday, and then Kittle will sway the team. Maybe Kyle's thinking the same thing. They could be scripting that up. Yeah.
I get the feeling that Debo is full team Trey Lance, by the way.
Yeah.
He's full team Trey Lance.
I would think
before
so.
the games, he's hyping him up, and he's the first one to congratulate him after a touchdown pass. I just feel like he's full. Like, yep.
This is because when Trey's the quarterback, Debo gets to play wide receiver.
Yeah.
When Jimmy's the quarterback, he has to play running back. T.O. says we have 12 solid guys on the D line right now, but we are going to have to cut 10 or 11. What's the final roster going to look like in your opinion? You can't keep 12 defensive linemen.
No.
Who's going to get cut? I don't know.
You kind of low-key can, though, just because – well, yeah, because you've got Buddy that's going to be suspended for 6 weeks. It's not going to count.
Jordan Willis, yep.
Jordan Willis, yeah. So, technically, you kind of can.
Yeah, you can do that.
So, at least for a while,
too. Maybe he might be PUP, something like that.
Right.
He wasn't there today.
Yeah.
Didn't see him.
So, you might get lucky there.
Yep. Foxer53 says, if the 49ers haven't been playing this RPO play action scheme we all think Trey will excel at, training in preseason, can we really expect to see it week 1? I think this tells us who's starting. They haven't been showing preseason, but they show it in camp every day.
Yeah.
So, I think, and they still have like 2 weeks, more than 3 weeks? 3 weeks until the first game, 3 weeks.
Yeah, because they're going to have 2 weeks in between this last game and week 1.
Jesse. You two and Vish are the GOAT. You guys keep on keeping on. Life's a Garden. Go Ducks.
Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Vish is the real GOAT. Had him on my channel. That was a blast of a show. That was fantastic. I'd never worked with Vish, but he's a good guy.
Joe says, what up, Grant and Jay? Jay, nay. Niner out here in Austin, Texas. Silver lining for the future with Trey and a stacked squad is lots of W's and hopefully that 6th trophy and more. What free agents could we swoop next offseason?
Oh, man.
I'm living day to day over here, but you gave us $20. I don't know.
Okay, let me say this.
Tell you.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
So the secondary, that's where you're going to be looking at a lot of free agents next offseason because you've got Verrett, who's going to be over 30 at that point. You've got Mosley, who could possibly be cut the way his contract is written. You've got K'Wan Williams, who's going to be a free agent. He's going to be 31, 32 at that point. Yeah. So most likely go look at like Sportrack or Over the Cap or something like that. Look at the free agents there in the secondary, and that's most likely where you're going to see some money spent.
Yeah. Yeah, that one really caught me by surprise. Wish we couldn't give you a better answer than that, but I thought Jesse did a good job. Sorry, Joe. Palo says coach and GM are incompetent.
Yeah, our coach. Okay, you know what?
Well,
I probably should have figured that out from your first one.
Well, I mean, look, Niner fans are going to feel that way if Trey Lance doesn't kick ass. So and they know that.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I don't even. I used to say stuff like that, but I'm trying. I've been getting along with Kyle recently. Sean
He wants you
says,
to get more clicks.
"Thank you. I want more clicks." I'm trying to tell him, don't announce this anytime soon. My
He
God.
should have told Jack he wants him to get more clicks too. What's up, Shanny?
Yeah, today Jimmy was like trying to let it slip. Like, yeah, I think I have a pretty good. Like, why don't you shut up, Jimmy? Stop, please. I didn't mean it like that.
You
I'm just
ruined
saying.
everything, Jimmy.
Come on, man. I need this. I'm just kidding. All right. Sean says, where do you think the Lions take advantage of the Niners due to their slow take week 1 last year? It was Kyler Murray's mobility. I don't think the nine. I mean, I don't think
Running game.
I don't think the Lions are gonna have a good game. I don't know. It's gonna be. What are they gonna
Their
do?
their running game, I
Their
think,
running
is the one shot that they have, because I think that offensive line's pretty good, and they went ahead and got Penei Sewell to add to it. They have two pretty good running backs, although Swift might not play week 1. Who knows what's going on there? But yeah, I would say that running game is something to look out for, and I think that they could put up some yards on our defense for sure.
Sky Malone. Hold on. I didn't miss it. I got you. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to find all the questions. Okay, hold on. So the competent coaches got that. Sean says, where do you think Lions... Oh, nope, got you too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Ken says, is there a scenario where we are trash this year? New DC at corner, safety, questions at quarterback, running back, special teams. Is there a world we start 0-5? All I want to say is, yeah, that scenario exists for every team. Football is a very humbling sport. It's not basketball. Injuries happen. The Niners know that. Yeah, there's a scenario where the Niners are trash. I don't think we need to really delve too deeply into it now to get negative, but yeah, yes, of course.
Yeah, for every team, that's a possibility. Yes. I would be absolutely shocked if 1-4 or 0-5 is even anything. Those first two games, I don't know, man. Philly, the Texans, and the Lions are probably the 3 worst teams in the league. You add in Jacksonville, that's 4 for sure wins this year, or should be. It's like I can't see losing to some of those teams, but you never know.
Yeah. Steve says, Grant, from what I've learned, zone read fumbles can definitely be caused by running backs. Also, Trey ran the zone read 100 times. I think he'll be okay. Yeah, he hasn't fumbled a zone read in hell long.
Hey, there's Steve Young. First of all, he's a member of the channel. That's cool. You should easily get an interview with him.
Definitely really appreciate it. Yeah, Steve. Eddie says, what's your take on Chris Sims nitpicking Lance but not Trevor or Zach Wilson? You think other rookie quarterbacks are performing better? I mean, it's what everyone does. He was down on Lance, and so he's trying to be right. Everyone wants to be right, and the points he makes are totally legit. He is nitpicking, and but it is on Lance to prove him wrong. Simple as that. Do it.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, you're right. Everything that he said about Lance so far is proven to be somewhat true, I guess.
Eager to say it, of course.
He's also not going hard after Jamar Chase, who he seemed to love, and that guy is not looking very good.
Everyone wants to be right. Yeah. Stay with McKinnon. Might as well stay with Hurd. Yeah. Hurd had one good practice today. Let's see if he practices tomorrow. If Hurd can slide in at the buzzer.
I don't see it happening. I don't know how it happens, because you've got Ayuk, you've got Debo, you've got Jennings, you've got Sanu, you've got, who else is there? Sherfield. Those 5 have got to be a lock unless you keep 7 receivers, which I highly doubt. I don't know how you squeeze Hurd on, because that last guy is going to have to be somebody that can return punts and kicks. Hurd doesn't do that. None of the other guys are probably going to do that. So it's got to be between James, Benjamin, and Simba, right? Like, I don't know. I also think you can sneak Hurd onto the practice squad, because nobody knows anything about him.
I don't think so.
You don't think you can sneak him on the practice squad?
I don't think so, because he's a third-round pick. People have high draft grades. You never know. There could be one team that was like, we really liked him. I'm just saying, if he plays tomorrow and Friday and Sunday and is just competent, he'll make the team, even if he shouldn't. And what makes me feel icky about it is, like, it's like the guy. Here's the thing. No one likes training camp. It sucks. Did you hear that clip of Joey Bosa? Someone asked, how you doing? Out here in training camp. Like, it sucks. He didn't do it. And he just kind of slid in and did enough, like, at the very end, like the bare minimum to make the team. It's like, Man, Joey Bosa went through training camp, but you couldn't. I mean, Nick took the training camp off, but he had an excuse. I
Right.
guess Jalen Hurd did too, but I don't know. Anyway, if he can make it through the whole week, I think he makes team.
Yeah, we'll see. It would suck though because that means you're going to
Yeah.
miss out on somebody pretty good.
It's true. The previous comment said something funny that I just hold on. Oh, I think the 2 QB system is such a stupid idea.
Agree.
Yeah, it's definitely not something sustainable. John says, question 1, if Jimmy knows who's going to be QB1, why wouldn't the whole team know? Question 2, if Jimmy is traded/cut and Sudfeld is also cut, who can be a decent backup? Not Josh Rosen, because he just got picked up by the Falcons. Falcons just got their quarterback of the future. Very good, very savvy move for Atlanta. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to move Jimmy and Sudfeld. I think those are their backups, the guys who went through training camp and know the offense.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't think they should keep 3 quarterbacks. I just think there's so many talented players that Jennings, right? We just talked about that last wide receiver spot. There's going to be somebody that they're going to miss out on because they're going to keep Sudfeld. That doesn't make any sense. And then the whole team could know. I mean, maybe the whole team's in on it. Maybe they all know and they don't want to tell the media for whatever reason. It's fun for them. That's a possibility, but it's also, I don't know.
They're both going to play. That's the secret. They're
Right.
both gonna play. And they already said it. It's like we're just not listening. They said it. They're both going to play. They both played today. It doesn't matter who starts. What matters more is who ends. That's what matters. That's what matters.
True. It's a good point.
Harley says, one more thing. If we suffer injuries at running back, would it be possible to pursue Gurley? You should ask Shanahan. Is he still out there?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Damn, what a fall.
How the mighty have fallen. Him and Le'Veon Bell.
Wow. Jimmy is going to bench himself anyway, start him. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what Kyle's thinking here. Like, look, I don't need to make a bold decision. Like, Jimmy, you go do what you do. Trey, please step up. And then I can just not make a decision. Matthew says, gut feeling. Is this Debo's hammy all smoke, or does this pop up again first 5 weeks and put him back on the sidelines again? I mean, that's his pattern. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something. But he basically had a good camp. He missed like 2 days. He had a good camp. So let's give him credit.
Let's hope he stays healthy. And that's the one thing that Niner fans should be extremely happy about or excited about. Seems like everybody who's worth anything is healthy at this point. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Def Moose Studios says we all hate the Cowboys, but did you see the drone shot in Hard Knocks? It was mind-blowing. Still feel Niners missed the target on Levi's. No. What happened? What was it?
It was just showing the facility and how nice it is. And, I mean, comparatively speaking, the Niners facility's trashed.
Well, okay. Yeah. Eric says, was it weird to joke and laugh with Kyle? No, we actually do that a lot during the week. It's just when I ask him questions about why he didn't do stuff better after games, he doesn't like that. But it's the big leagues. I mean, I think he understands. It's not that personal. I always felt that he never, he doesn't hate me. He just has moments where he'd be like, dude, I don't like you right now. Fair. It's all right. We're not friends. That's okay. All right. Let's talk about this. How good does Lance have to be for 49ers fans to be happy, in your opinion?
Well, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I asked the question on Twitter. I said, if Trey Lance is a more athletic Ryan Tannehill, would you be happy? And it was a mixed bag. I think a lot of people appreciate Tannehill.
Actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Yeah.
So, to me, that basically everybody agreed that would be like a top 10 quarterback, but seemed like a lot of people would not be okay with that. They said it'd be way too much capital to give up. I really think if Lance is not a mainstay in that top 5, 2-3 years from now, I think people are going to be pissed. That's kind of the vibe that I got, at least from that small sample size. So I could be wrong about that. I'm happy if he's a mainstay in the top 10. I'm cool with that because that means the 49ers are winning, especially with Shanahan at the helm. But man, if he's not top 5 and that's what the fan base is expecting, like they might turn on him. That would suck.
Well, look at it this way. He's got to be better than Justin Fields. Got to be better than Mac Jones. Because the Niners didn't just take Trey Lance over those two. They traded up to take him. They traded up far. And I think it's fair to wonder if it was necessary. Trey Lance might have been there at 10. Maybe he might have been there at 12. You don't know. I don't think anyone really knows where Trey Lance was going to go. So I'm not saying the Niners got it wrong, but that's an easy comparison. This is because Kyle Shanahan passed on Watson, passed on Mahomes. If Fields and Mack end up being great, and Trey Lance ends up being good, or not, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. And hindsight's 2020, right? Like obviously looking back on it, you're going, well, we could have stayed at 12 and gotten Mac, which would have been cool, I guess. They could have traded up 1 or 2 spots and gotten Fields.
No, I'm with them. I like what they did, but
yeah.
Ultimately, it doesn't mean they got it right. They got
no, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, looking back on it now, it's like, yeah, that could definitely come back to haunt them because those guys were there to be had, for a lot.
And they look good. They look good. Honestly, all the rookie quarterbacks look good, including Lance. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of pressure here. I mean, yeah, if he's a top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback, that's great. I still think they can win a lot of games with him the way the Niners won a lot of games with Kaepernick. There's a very clear correlation. If you can run the zone read, if you can make big plays with your arm, you're going to win games. It's just like, is he going to be worth the second contract? Is he going to get the Josh Allen deal, the Patrick Mahomes deal? I don't know. Not if he keeps still missing passes over the middle high. But at the same time, he's 21. We'll ask that question. We'll figure that out when he's 24.
Yeah.
So I think probably he would need to get the second contract or win a Super Bowl in the next 4 years. One or the other.
Winning a Super Bowl cures everything, right?
Yeah, that'll do it.
So
yeah.
But you're right. I mean, if Fields is Russell Wilson and Lance is Kaepernick, like that's not a good look.
That's a no good, right?
From a skill standpoint. So.
And I gotta say, I do have a lot of questions with Justin Fields, but so far, he looks good. So far. And so does Mac Jones. So just ups the ante on the Niners. And do think that Trey Lance is going to look real good. Because what happens I think the comparison is Lamar. Because Lamar runs a ton of the zone read. And it's the first thing you got to stop when you play the Ravens. And it's so hard. It's not easy. Even if you prepare really well and make that your focus. And because that's your focus, it opens up the pocket passing game. It slows down the pass rush. I think Lamar statistically is like the most efficient pocket passer in the league because defenses are trying to stop everything else.
He just doesn't do a lot of it.
He doesn't do a lot of it. So I think when Lance starts being used where he's running as much as he's throwing and he's having success on the ground, everything will open up for him and he'll have success. But of course, you can't play that way forever.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things to look at is, we talk about how good the rookies are playing, but he's leading all the rookies as far as completion percentage past the sticks. That's good. Yeah. He's leading all the rookies as far as drops, which, again, that's not good that receivers are dropping it, but you add 7 completions to his total and things look a lot different. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to be excited about with Lance. And we're not going to know for a few years. I'm still hedging my bet. I think Lance is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Eric says, do you think Kyle is sour because Mac Jones looks good? I don't see him being sour.
Too early for that.
Javi, what's up, Javi? Says, is this Lance package a slow transition to him starting? Eating away at Jimmy Snap per week, built-in protection for all 3 guys, Jimmy, Lance, and Kyle. I think basically, yeah. I mean, unless Lance can just step up against the Raiders and just make it like, oh, he's ready. Everyone sees it and everyone says it for a week. Until that happens, you just keep giving Lance more and more opportunities to show it. Okay, you didn't show it against the Raiders? Show it against the Lions as a backup. Show it against the Eagles as a back. As soon as you show it, it's like, okay, Jimmy, thanks. Thank you. Our guys ready? Goodbye. He's shown it. And George Kittle's convinced.
Yeah, again, at the very least, Javi, and I know that you've been on, hey, this is a pure battle. And there's a lot of people that said that it was never a competition. But we know if Trey Lance has that starting position, they're not doing any of this or talking about any of this. No. This, at the very least, shows that they wanted Lance to be the starter and they did want it to be an open competition. And even if he hasn't won it before the preseason, if they end up doing that and transitioning to Lance week 3, week 4, something like that, it shows that they wanted Lance to be the guy the whole time. And they just needed him to prove it.
Sean says, Kyle, who's starting week 1? What's backing him up? And I don't know, it's somewhere else. He's doing the who's on first joke.
Yeah, I like it.
That was good. Steve says, could Mostert have an injured season and get traded? Nah, it's a contract year. So they need to get playing time out of Mostert. Ain't no trade coming for him.
Mostert and Jimmy are like the 2 players that 49er fans often want to trade and get the world for. It's like these guys don't have any value.
Yeah. Hold on. We got one more. You guys are being very generous tonight. Johns George says, could Fields be looking better than Lance because Bears are making him do whatever he wants so that they can win over fans? Lance be a held back. No, hold on. No, I don't want to make it that simple. They're not running the zone read in Chicago. What I like about Fields, here's the way I look at it. It's like when there's a pass rush and a defensive end runs past the quarterback, dude, you got to take that that's your first read. That's your first read. Lance, take it. And what I like about Fields is he's taking it. He's being very decisive and getting out of the pocket at the right times. And at Ohio State, I felt like he was just, I don't know, doing a lot of things Lance is doing, like staying in the pocket too long, like trying too hard to show that you're a pocket quarterback. Like get out, get out. It's like that movie, Get Out. And like Lance, I want you to, and I understand. I think he's trying to in preseason work on other stuff, and I get that. And maybe Fields would have been better off working on other stuff too. But he's very decisive, and then when he is evading pass rushers, he's very confident and agile. He's like, I know I'm so much more athletic than you, and I feel like Lance is just realizing it. Like on the 2-point conversion, he's like, oh, I can run for it. Oh, I'll run for it. It's like, yeah, dude, run for it. Come on. Yes.
See, I think Lance is fast, but I question how elusive he is.
Fair.
I guess he is elusive. I just don't see him.
Is he going to be more like young Roethlisberger, where he's like stiff arming people and then like picking up speed downfield?
Right. Yeah. Which you saw even on that touchdown run. He did. He stiff armed somebody and ended up getting in the end zone. That's how he got the 2-point conversion that was called back. So I don't know if he's elusive enough to step in the pocket and hit that corner and just be gone. I think that he's really going to have to see it. And once he picks up speed, yeah, he'll take off on you, but he's going to need a little bit because he lumbers, you know?
He's going to need to develop the improvisational part of his game because it's the most deadly part of...
For sure.
It's like a 3-point shot in basketball. Like, dog, you want that. And it's great to, stay in the pocket and to roll out, but, like, definitely get out.
But that's how Shanahan can definitely help him, right? Like, if he moves the launch point almost, 50% of the throws... Then Lance can get around the corner, right? Doubt. Because he knows where he's going and the defense has no idea. So At that point, he's already on the move. He's got some momentum. He can definitely take off on people. But if he's just sitting in the pocket and a DN crashes on him, I don't know if he's that type of player where he's going to get away and be elusive. I do think he can shrug off an arm tackle and step up in the pocket and deliver a pass, but I don't know if he's going to take off on you.
Oh, it's a part of his game. He's gonna have to. He'll get a feel for it. He'll get a feel for what he can get away with. Zane says, "I LMAO'd when you responded to Shandy today. If we're alive tomorrow, that was classic." I forget what the context was, but he was saying something about how you can't predict the future, and I was like, right, because you don't even know. He's like, I'm glad you said it. I didn't want to say it. I have fun with Kyle. It's just sometimes I have to grill him, man, and he doesn't like being grilled. I respect that. I don't like being grilled either. I hate that. Leave me alone. Just praise me. Tell me I'm good. Sean says Chicago and New England are letting their quarterbacks do what they are good at instead of having them work on what they are not good at long-term versus short-term. Yeah, it's interesting. Matt Nagy not starting Justin Fields. Good call, dude. You just following the Anthony Lynn playbook to a T, right? Like how to get fired with a good quarterback. How to set up the next coach for a franchise quarterback. 49ers First Takes gives us $5. Thank you, man.
I just did a show with him right before this, Aaron. He's a good guy. Go check him out.
Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. All right. Okay, so look, I'm bullish on Lance. He's definitely the best quarterback I've ever covered. He's very intriguing. He has some issues that he needs to fix. 3 things. Wobbly passes. Mm-hmm. Too much velocity on specific throws, the short ones. And missing high. When he misses, it's high. Yep. So, you've had a constant communication with his quarterback coach. What have you learned on these things?
Yeah, so had him on last Thursday, and we talked about all of these things. And so, oddly enough, Grant, he said wobbly passes and high throws are caused from the same exact thing. So, it's not a surprise that we saw him throw high a lot. We talked about this leading up to the draft. We talked about it after he got drafted. And now the wobbly passes are starting to come to light. And he says that they're caused from the exact same thing. He says that he's not getting full extension on his throws. He's not committing. And even when he is committing, sometimes he's turning that wrist over too quick, which is causing some of that inaccuracy and causing the wobble. He did say that that's 5% of the throwing motion, right? He says that he's loading good. His arms are in the right place. His body's pointed in the right direction. and that final 5% is where he's losing it a little bit. He thinks it's a very easy fix, but that's what would cause it, is not extending properly at the very end. So I thought it was interesting that he said that wobbly passes
It's
and
like
high passes are the same.
It's your release point. It's finishing out in front as opposed, because when you miss high, you're leaving your arm behind you.
Yes.
You're not. Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess what I also notice is he tends to unconsciously, we've seen it on tape, drop his weight a little bit.
Yep.
And I feel like that kind of leads you to dragging your arm. You know, like if you want to finish out in front, you should have a stiff back leg. You should keep a straight back leg. I mean, I think that's how you never see a pitcher drop and drive anymore in the MLB. It's all straight leg throws. Trey, you might want to stop that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I also think that, maybe that final 5% can be rushed if you're not seeing the field the way that you want.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you're throwing late, you're hitching, and then you're like, okay, I got to go. You're going to leave something off, right? He's going to use his hips. He's going to drive the way that he should. But that final 5% is where you're going to get a little loose. And maybe that's why we're seeing that issue.
Well, one thing I would do if I were the play caller, knowing that this is his main weakness at this point, and otherwise, this is his main weakness. What I would do is, on third downs in particular, I wouldn't be calling passes over the middle.
No.
He's got such a strong arm. Outs, give him an out route. If he misses, it's incomplete. But he can also hit it, and he's got major arm strength. So it's something you work on. Tell him to aim lower, aim low. Whatever you got to do. But until then, let's just throw outs on 3rd and 7.
This is why rollouts are so important, because you roll out, right? And let's say you have a couple overs. You can make high-low reads. Those are very easy reads to make. So you have 3 options. You look high, then you look low, or vice versa. And option 3 is you take off and run. Like, it's very simple for him to wrap his mind around that. When you have to sit in the pocket and you're going left to right or right to left, I mean, he doesn't even know where his checkdown's at half the time. He's losing that. So
he doesn't.
And that's an issue. But if you start to move the pocket, it helps him so much.
Also, mechanics in the pocket. I've seen this with a lot of quarterbacks. I always compare him to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz to me was never natural in the pocket. You could always nitpick him, like, look at him. He holds the ball too long. His feet are in the right spot. He's just not. But and so you can like see him thinking about the mechanics he was working on that week. It's like, I was supposed to take a hitch, and I was supposed to hold my hands here, but as soon as you're throwing on the run, it's like, oh, you've been doing that your whole life. That's so natural and easy to you. And Lance is the same way. As soon when he's rolling left and throws, it's like, that's easy. That he could do that all the time. And so I just would encourage, if I were a play caller, I'd be looking for as many of those opportunities as possible.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, his back to the basket game isn't that great, but he can shoot threes. Well, let's get him behind the perimeter. Let's get him behind the arc. So we can work with that. Christina says, do we know when Jimmy's contract is guaranteed? Yeah, week 1. As soon as the season starts, it's guaranteed for the full season. Are you guys really okay paying him to play only a few games instead of rolling that money to next year?
We're not okay.
It's not our jobs. It's not our jobs, but it's too late. I mean, they really missed the opportunity to get a lot of the guys that could have got with that money. And also, you got to remember, it's year 5 for these guys. If they miss the playoffs, you don't know what someone like Jed York's going to do. You don't know. It could be a very painful season. He could fire you. And this, to me, is, I feel like John and Kyle's insurance. Like, as long as we have Trey and Jimmy, we can guarantee we'll get to the playoffs. We won't win the Super Bowl. We most likely won't. We'd have to break some records to do that. But at least we'll get to the playoffs, get off the hot seat, and we can do what we need to do after that. I think that's part of it.
How nice would it be to have Mitch Trubisky right about now?
Oh.
You started that whole thing like week 12 last year.
Always felt that Matt Nagy made him look worse than he is, and if you just put him with a good team and a good quarterback coach and a good system, he'd look good. Boom!
For $2 million.
Yeah. Did I miss one? Which game will be Lance's first win? How about week 1?
Yeah, whenever.
Again, it's
whenever
not who starts that
I
game. It's who finishes it. That's what I want to see. That is the quarterback competition. Area 49er says, pros of throwing fastballs, hard to get picks. Cons, drop passes or pop-ups that could lead to same thing with Cap. Go back and look at Cap. I think he has one of the lowest interception percentages of all time. I think Rodgers is the lowest. Cap might be second lowest, or was at one time. He was similar. Cap's skill set is a lot like Lance's. Average 6 yards a carry, rocket arm, limit turnovers. That's a great skill. You can win a lot of games
For sure,
that way.
yes,
The
of
thing
course.
with Kaepernick was he never really evolved into the Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson type quarterback who's worth the money that you give to the guy. They should have traded him and just gotten another guy to do that kind of stuff because he was always kind of a one-read quarterback and his improv game wasn't that great. But the three things he did really well, God, that's very potent. And Trey Lance can do that right now. And we think he can evolve way beyond that.
He already has I think he already has better deep touch too than what Kaepernick ever had.
Quick release.
Yeah, quick release.
Quick release. Yep. And I think he's more into learning the game.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Zane says, Grant, did you know the most you can donate in a super chat is $500? If I had that, I would donate it. You men are great. Love the content. Go Niners. Thank you very much.
That's cool.
That was very nice. Maria says, how many sacks do you think Bosa and Ford have this season if healthy? Laugh my ass off. 40. I don't know. How about 20? Over under 20.
Oh, over. If they're both healthy, easily over.
Thank you, Wyatt, for subscribing.
That's cool.
And now let's move on to our last topic. It's not a quarterback topic. We're 56 minutes in. We finally get off quarterbacks. Someone said Lombardi live taking shots at Grant. Well, that's only fair because I've been taking shots at him for like weeks. All right.
Lombardi, you have 2,500 subscribers. Grant has 36,000. Take a shot at that.
I keep trying to talk to him.
And the spreadsheet shows it. 36,000 versus 2,500. It's not.
I keep trying to like make conversation at practice to see if he has something to say, and he just keeps not looking at me.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. That's all right.
He's so nice. I'm an asshole. Yeah. He's nice. I'm an asshole. Okay.
I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. The solution at right guard. They haven't found it. Like, this is what happens. They do their one-on-ones and Daniel Brunskill loses all of them. And then Colton McKivitz comes up and loses all of them. And you're like, and then Aaron Banks doesn't practice because he's hurt. So you're like, to me, I mean, I don't know if he's their best right guard because I haven't seen him play the position yet, but I'm guessing he's their best right guard. He's been playing left tackle, starting, and now it's Jalen Moore. Why not? They said they wanted to see him at guard when they drafted him. You could use him at guard now. You always talk about starting your best five on the offensive line. I got a sneaky suspicion that he's part of their best five.
It sounds like a real Madden play because I'll tell you this. When you play Madden, you just take the highest rated guys and plug and play wherever you want.
Hell yeah. I know he hasn't gotten the reps and he may not be, but they still got 3 weeks, man.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Giving Daniel Brunskill all the reps ain't helping.
No, it's not. And I actually like it, especially because Trent's back. Sounds like Coleman came back for, however long. So that means they've got a swing tackle there. I like it. I think it's worth a shot because right now that right guard is so weak, Grant, and that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real problem if they don't figure it out. And you're right. They got more. They talked about playing him at the guard position. The only question I have now is, and this is very hard to do for a player to go from the left side of the line to the right, and then you're also switching positions. I don't know if 3 weeks is enough to get them up to speed.
Yeah, don't know, but they got to figure it out because here's the situation at right guard. Daniel Brunskill isn't demonstrably better than Colton McKivitz right now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And Colton McKivitz isn't demonstrably better than he was last year.
No.
So I don't know if Daniel Brunskill's gotten worse or he might have gotten worse. I don't know. He ain't getting better.
And Banks wasn't good and he's not healthy.
Nope. So if they don't do this by week 1, they may need to start cross-training him over there now because if he's not ready by week 1, you may need him week 2.
Yeah.
Like you could lose week 1 because of Daniel Brunskill in the right guard position. So you might as well want someone ready week 2. They might want to start thinking, hey, look, I know I didn't call this a quality control session. Maybe Kyle isn't watching, but Kyle, if you're watching, give it a look, man, because I don't know. Maybe he thinks right guard won't ruin a game for him, but you could argue that it kind of ruined the Super Bowl for him. So you might want to take a look, dude.
Well,
he's been playing left tackle. That's good.
Not only that, but could you imagine McGlinchey going through another year with no stability over there? Like, what's that going to do to his psyche? That's not good. Like, that whole right side
is already fragile enough. Sorry, Mike. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So yeah,
I'm gonna ride Mike McGlinchey until he goes to a Pro Bowl. I want to look, Mike. I'm gonna still be hard on you, okay? Because you need to go. You're the ninth pick. You were drafted way ahead of Joe Staley. Joe Staley was a late one. You were a top 10 pick. Yep. You need to go to the Pro Bowl this year. So when I call you out for not playing at a Pro Bowl level, it's all love, baby. Just know it's all love, and you need it. It's best for you. It's what you need. I didn't do that to Joe Staley because that dude was just a perennial Pro Bowler and he was above it. But you're not. And once you get there, I'll get off your back. I feel like we can work together on this one. Sorry, I just needed to talk directly to Mike for a second.
How does McGlinchey look? I haven't heard a lot about him. Same old? Does he look at least a little better than last year?
He looks a little bigger than last year. But okay. I'm starting to feel like... I know he has some good reps against the Chargers, so let's leave it at that. He's had some bad days in practice, but it's practice. It's practice. Okay. It's practice. I don't know why we want Kyle to pick a quarterback one right now. We didn't even know who on the roster will be alive. That's what I told him. I was like, look, I totally get it, man. Take your time. Let's see if there's an apocalypse or what happens, and then just go from there. I mean, we all saw Donnie Darko, right? There could be a day where the sky just opens up and then it's all over for everyone. So let's make sure that doesn't happen first.
Yeah, true.
That was a trippy movie. I almost understand what happened in it. I've watched it a bunch of times. Almost get it. Thomas Tyler says, anytime there's a movie about time travel, I feel like Bill and Ted. I'm like, whoa, I don't get it. I'm sorry, but I love that movie. Thomas says, saw Chris K mic'd up coaching like a mad dog. Meanwhile, Scangarello looking like Lumberg from Office Space. Dude has to go. Am I the only one who notices that he has no place on this coaching staff?
He's leaning over the cubicle. Yeah. Hi, me again. Listen, Lance, we're gonna need you to come in on Sunday too, because we're a little
more touch from you on these passes. Thanks. Yeah, that's a good question, man. Can't they get someone who played the position at some point in their life? You guys are being real generous tonight. I appreciate it. Nate Dogg says, do you think we should trade or pick up any of the players that are in the cut conversation on other teams, like Jalen Smith?
Thomas.
Yeah. I don't know who Thomas is, but I like the name. Thomas the Tank Engine. What about Thomas?
If they play offensive line or corner, you got to take a look.
Definitely. Linebacker's probably down the list, but couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt.
Is G one of the harder positions to learn? Is Kyle's system maybe a bigger learning curve for offensive line with all the movement? Hoping to see growth from Banks. I think pass protection is kind of a one-on-one thing a lot of times, and either you can do it or you can't. And with the problem with the Niners is that. I mean, like Brunskill's fine as a run blocker. He's good in the scheme. He's just getting whipped one-on-one, and that's a problem on 3rd and 7. So that's why I say move Jalen Moore over there. Like, he was playing left tackle. He can't be worse in pass protection than Dan.
No.
There's no way.
No.
I would think.
No. So, yeah. Listen, I'm not here to say I don't know. I obviously never played line, but here's what I will say. It's hard to learn when you haven't spent a lot of capital there. You even look at Laken Tomlinson. He was cut by the Detroit Lions. Like, that's how bad Laken was. Now, he's turned out to be a pretty good player for them, but that's where he came from. Then you take a second-round flyer on a guy that you could have gotten in round 3, possibly round 4, who was a mauler in college, and you say, hey, we want you to lose weight and play in the way that we play football. You're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. So they're going all about it the wrong way to fill those positions. I think that's a bigger problem than actually learning to play the position.
Chris says, Grant, your tone on Grant has definitely changed. I think you mean Lance since a couple of weeks ago. What's the main reason you're concerned? Well, I was very excited to watch him. He's very fun to watch, and he's clearly on a different level than other quarterbacks I've seen. But then as I've seen him for 3-4 weeks, I see his weaknesses too. And that's going to – I still think you can win with him on a rookie deal, but that'll be the issue. Like, will he be the quarterback 10 years from now? I don't know. And I think the things I'm looking at right now are accuracy and the velocity. Like, for example, watching Justin Herbert in person, when he warms up, he puts the ball where he wants to every time. And when I watch Trey Lance every day, there's like a couple throws where he'll airmail someone in warm-ups, and it's just what he does, and it's okay. But it's who he is. And I'm wondering, like, he doesn't necessarily have that natural accuracy that Mahomes has. And I don't know if it was ever fair to expect that he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, but I don't think he's going to be Patrick Mahomes. I do think he's going to be better than Colin Kaepernick. Will he be Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I was very excited about him when I saw him at first, but I never said, oh, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I'm just, I got some questions on that line, but I mean, it's that level. It's not like he might be a bum. No. It's just like, I'm just not sure he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I also, first of all, I think you said it. Like, you just saw him play next to Herbert. That's a whole different level. Yeah. Herbert's a different dude now. Let's give him some credit. So that's one. Two, let's cool our jets a little bit. This guy has played 2 games in 500 days or 21 months. Like, yeah. What did you really expect? He's 21 years old. He's only had about 3 years of formal quarterback training, where most of these guys start in middle school. Like, the way they talk about how good he got in that 40 days away from the team and how good he actually got from week 1 to even week 2 in this preseason, and as he built momentum, how good he looked, he is going to make these leaps that you're not going to believe your eyes on. He is a hard worker. He is smart. He wants to learn to play the position the proper way.
Right.
And the way that he picks up on things is unbelievable. And that's the one thing that I took out of, and I've taken it out of all the interviews with Coach McAvoy, but go to my channel, Last Second Sports, watch that interview, and he will show you and talk you through exactly why he is different than even Deshaun Watson, who he's coached, Justin Fields, who he's coached. He's on a different level when it comes to fixing his wrongs and doing it at an astronomical, quick level. That's why I think he's going to be special, and we're going to see these leaps from this year. Wait till next year how good he looks. I bet you we're talking about a whole different player.
Yeah. Joe says, my bad, Grant, for thinking way out. LOL. He was the guy thinking about next year's free agents. Quarterback controversy just going to be a headache this year. Both you guys have dope content. Appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, I know. Like, we're so focused on quarterbacks. You're like, can you answer a question about non-quarterbacks? And we're like, no, sorry, we only cover quarterbacks now. Chris says, is there a player out there that you would realistically like to see the Niners trade for, possibly by the trade deadline? P.S. Lance is starting week 1. Book it. What do they have to trade? They don't have firsts. I mean, I guess
second round pick for a corner, I'd take that.
Yeah.
But who?
I'm not necessarily buying the Diamador hype yet. I need to see him go against some like real good. I mean, he's like locking down the backups of preseason, but that doesn't mean he can match up with freaking.
Well, and even if you are buying the hype, I mean, we have 2 corners that are 30 and older that are injury prone, so you're gonna need another guy.
Possible that Lance has a Josh Allen progression
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, he's 20. Yeah. He's 21. He's played 2 games in 500 plus days.
It's possible. The only thing that gives me pause isn't necessarily Lance, it's the Niners. Like Allen has a great quarterback coach. Ken Dorsey's the freaking man. Yep. He's so good. And I don't know about Rich Gangarello. I'm not going to say he's bad because I don't know. It's just what's his resume? Who has he developed? No one.
Right.
So Jimmy. So okay, I'm just saying I wonder if the Niners are really equipped to help him. I mean, they're going to give him a good scheme, but that's not everything. That's not why Josh Allen took these progressions, because his scheme is so good. It's more than that. So, and also Allen's progression is kind of 101. So maybe I think Lance has the talent. He can do his part, but let's see the Niners rise to the occasion.
I'll also say this, though. I do have a lot of confidence in who he works with in the offseason. I think McAvoy is phenomenal. And, I think that they've got a really good thing, though, going with Quincy Avery over there. And, as he progresses, if he becomes that franchise guy, maybe they do a Tom Brady situation where Quincy Avery's hanging out around the team throughout the regular season and he's kind of on the payroll low-key. You know what I mean? So there's always that possibility.
All right, we've gone over an hour. This is the end of the show. Thank you guys very much. You guys kind of kept us going with all of your generous donations. That was a lot of fun. This was great. Been a while, man. Sorry we couldn't do it last week. It's always a pleasure, man.
It's all good, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. I'll be back tomorrow. We have another practice tomorrow and Friday as well. So